ICE raids airports.
We need to see your badge number.
Deal or no deal?
Our negotiators simply didn't understand what they were being offered.
He's back.
Epstein claimed to have given at least some insight on Trump to the Russians.
Most click story you didn't see.
With a $19 million verdict.
Coming Saturday.
The glitch in the system there. It's making me mad. I'm going to try it again. Restart, reboot. Here we go.
ICE raids airports.
We need to see your badge number.
Deal or no deal?
Our negotiators simply didn't understand what they were being offered.
He's back.
Epstein claimed to have given at least some insight on Trump to the Russians.
Most click story you didn't see.
With a $19 million verdict.
Coming Saturday.
No kings, no kings, no kings.
Today is going to be my peaceful day.
How'd you like that? That was Joan Baez. No kings, no kings.
Oh yeah, with Jesse Wells. Jesse Wells.
She's gonna be here.
Yeah.
Who just said the name of the other singer there?
Jesse Wells. I did. Yeah.
Good catch. Yeah, because
But where's he going to
remember
be?
his name.
Where's he going to be, Katie?
No, Joan Baez and
Joan
Jane
Baez.
Fonda, Bernie Sanders, Bruce Springsteen are all going to be here on Saturday.
In Minneapolis.
Yep. In
At
St.
the
Paul.
rest of the Midwest or where?
Huh?
Where at?
Oh, in St. Paul.
Oh, in St. Paul.
They're going to be at the Capitol.
Oh, the big thing out, the big stadium out there. I used to call it the breast of the Midwest because back in the 80s. I don't know. Maybe they've replaced it by now.
What? Which one?
It was a stadium.
Was it the Metrodome?
I think so.
Yeah, that's long gone because the roof caved in.
Okay. Yeah.
Roof caved in during a very heavy snowstorm, and it just. I'll have to find that video and show you guys.
But anyway,
It's kind of cool.
so okay, back to Epstein.
Yeah, we go from broken stadiums to Epstein.
Yeah, and just as a reminder for everybody, March 28th is No Kings.
Mhm.
I haven't figured out exactly where I'm going to intersect with it. I've got three different choices to intersect with the march in Washington. So I love a marching in March. And
Yeah,
you know,
but I mean,
and this
depending
week,
on how you're feeling.
the cherry blossoms are going to be blooming this weekend.
Oh, that would be
Oh.
lovely.
I mean, pretty much on the day of the march.
Wow.
The march is Saturday, and they're supposed to peak bloom on Sunday. And with climate change, our cherry blossoms last about 3 hours. So the cherry trees have been an issue for a while now. Oh, Egry's already here.
Yeah.
Howdy, Egry. I think we're going, Jamie. I think you need to be our official moderator. You stay on top of these comments so well.
She does.
They say you're supposed to have a moderator for your chat room.
We have a new one too. Osama bin Laden. Login.
Osama bin lagging. Hello there, Osama bin
Lagging.
Where you're coming from, we take all kinds, but if not, you get something, we're going to talk back. I'm telling you now. We talk back if people insult us.
This is Troll Tuesday, so it could get
It
noisy.
is. It is.
That's true. Okay, we've been wandering around here, and we want to get back to some business with what do we think now? Real quick. There are three new stories Epstein related. Is Senator Ron Wyden of Oregon released a bunch of global finance crime stuff, hush money. Yesterday, he's raised that. That's one thing. The other is Bloomberg News has a new story about the woman who prosecuted or wanted to prosecute Epstein in the first place and got shut down by all the men. and we still haven't heard enough from her. And then this crazy Epstein Ranch story in New Mexico is just wild. I mean, I know it's been out there for a long time, but I'm just now catching up to it.
And then there's a fourth thing, and that is the UK wants unredacted Epstein files, all of them, because they want to see if they can prosecute Prince Andrew and Mandelson. But it's more they want to prosecute them from a financial and security, trading security information and that kind of thing, not for sex crimes. And my fear is overall that absolutely nothing will happen for the victims, but the financial stuff will get some people, and at least that's good. But I don't know that there's going to ever be justice for any of the victims.
Wow. Osama says he's alive. I'm alive.
You're not at the bottom of the ocean.
America is alive. This Ray, you say this, Osama. It raises something I've been. We went back and forth, Anon and Jack, last night on the trail mix. This whole issue of Baghdad Bob, is we are, and I got into this discussion with somebody on Threads too. Isn't it amazing? We are in a situation where, at least on this issue of whether or not they're doing a deal, they're in talks with Iran, and Trump is claiming all this stuff, and Iran says, no, we're not. We're actually in a situation where it makes sense to question whether Iran's telling the truth and America is lying. That's the situation we're in.
Well, where he says he talked to presidents.
Iran might be the one telling the truth.
Where he says he talked to former presidents about this, and all the living former presidents said no. So maybe he had a seance with Reagan. I don't know, but he doesn't know the truth, and it's like the boy who cried wolf too many times. It's like you can't believe him anymore, if you ever could.
Yeah. So anyway, the thing I put on Trail Mix this morning was Bloomberg, how the Fed spiked a hero prosecutor's 2007 arrest plan to protect the billionaire's dirty cash. I thought I pepped up their headline a little bit. That's not Bloomberg's headline on their story. That's my headline on their story. I wanted to give it a little pumped up. But anyway, here's the actual Bloomberg story. If anybody wants to take it from there and what it means or what we think. This is that prosecutor here. I've got a pic. I found this woman. Somebody's got to find. Well, we know she just doesn't. She does not go forward. This is probably one of the most important people in the entire story. Who we have not heard from is this is the prosecutor who wanted to take him on, wanted to arrest him and to begin with, and the men in the Justice Department shut her down, and we've just never heard from her. Bloomberg's got all this new stuff though from what she wrote at the time, but we don't have anything new and fresh from her. Marie Villafana.
Well, I would like to see some.
It's got a tilde.
Yeah, it's got a tilde on it.
Yeah.
Villafana.
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 Villafana. Okay. Go ahead, Blue.
No, I just was picking up on what Jamie said. There was a tilde. I didn't even notice it.
Okay, we've established there's a tilde.
We're going to talk about punctuation today.
Yeah. Well, my cousin Carolyn, who couldn't be here today because she's delivering meals to Meals on Wheels. She's part of Meals on Wheels. She's delivered meals today. Anyway, she's a former federal prosecutor, and she has been focused on this woman for a long time. She knows people who knew her because Carolyn was also a federal prosecutor in Florida when this woman was operating, and but she's never doesn't know her herself. But anyway, she can't believe that this woman has never been subpoenaed. And she does raise the question that maybe she's cooperating behind the scenes, which is maybe one reason that she has not been subpoenaed. I don't know.
That could be it too. Honestly, it's, it was, I mean, it's not okay to cover anything up, but like when they are deliberately covering it up, that there's guilt in there. That there's something that they don't want you all to see. And they said that they were going to be, one thing about this administration that I can't stand is they gave the full transparency. We're going to be full transparency on everything. You're going to know everything and keep all the American people informed. Bullshit. Sorry, not sorry.
Well, that's what even the Republicans, I think, are going to go after Bondi when they get her. I think it's April 6th or 12th.
Yeah.
I wrote it down somewhere. Anyway, she's supposed to testify, but it is going to be closed door. But she is going to be under oath, I think, because even the Republicans have subpoenaed Bondi to talk about the cover-up and why they're not getting the records.
The New Republic has an article about her as well from the end of February.
About Marie?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's how Jeffrey Epstein worked the South Florida legal system.
Doug, did you take your meds today? Because nothing you're saying is making sense.
Yeah. I think these are all nouns. Are there any verbs? Is that the problem?
No.
Sometimes when you leave out
a verb.
like people, there's a verb. Okay.
No, everything is a verb.
Attack ideas, not people. Okay.
Yeah, you can tell the trolls because it's just a stream of insults rather than actual information or facts.
Mm-hmm.
But it is.
Oh yeah, let's change the subject to Kamala so we don't have to talk about the current events.
Mm-hmm. That's what I just call a distraction from the Epstein files. That's what I call a distraction from the illegal war in Iran.
Okay, folks, I put you on there, as the judges say to lawyers when they object. So noted. Now, here in this article with Bloomberg, just a quick takeaway is this just to say what we're talking about. Marie Villafana, she was a federal sex crimes prosecutor. They had a special division for that in those days. I don't know if they still do or not. She spent a year with the victims, with teenage girls, detailing Epstein's recruiting, and then she proposed a 60-count indictment of Epstein that charged him and some of his assistants too with sex trafficking. But her supervisors, Alex Acosta, he's our old friend we've talked about a lot. Alex Acosta ended up in Donald Trump's first cabinet after agreeing not to prosecute Epstein. And then instead of indicting him as the prosecutor had wanted, Acosta agreed to let him plead guilty in state court, not federal, serving 13 months in the county jail. So that's just the background on what her involvement was. And what's new is that the Bloomberg News has gotten a lot more detail on what she found and what she had recommended, and it was all rejected. So it's not going away. It's still, but what would really kick this up is if this former prosecutor, Marie Villafana, would talk, but she doesn't. She's nowhere to be found. Completely ghosting us.
To take his time making sure he is comfortable before proceeding.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to see, like, all of the people, starting with Robert Maxwell, who have died mysteriously or suicided themselves, been suicided or said to have committed suicide. All of those people, I would like to see, just like, it seems like there's about a dozen now.
Yeah.
It's like, it's insane. And I think, so I went down a rabbit hole trying to find out how far back this goes. And I ended up with people saying, oh, it's the Rothschilds. And so I went back and just looked at a Wikipedia of the Rothschild family, and they had networks all over. But it seemed like they kind of, after World War II, they kind of lost their, but the networks were there. They built up a lot of networks globally. And I almost wonder some of the networks are still that's where like the networks started, the global networks. It was interesting.
Just
Anyway.
keep learning more and more and more. Hey, Jack.
Hey,
We're back to Epstein. Jack's favorite story.
yeah.
But you know,
I think Renee made a good comment when she said, basically, we'll never know because we don't even know what documents are being shredded right now.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a facility in West Virginia where the FBI contracts to a third-party company vendor shredding documents. And so I know there have been some reporters dogging that
We
facility.
can only hope that a stack of them are being held under somebody's bed.
Yeah.
Well, there's that, and you know how those document storage is. They're back there, and they've got somebody working for minimum wage managing it because it's not a big thing. You just put them back there and.
Well, we got 3 new developments. We just talked about the first one. Bloomberg News got some new stuff about the original prosecutor who wanted to prosecute Epstein and got shut down by the guy who eventually got a cabinet appointment from Trump after he protected Epstein. And then we'll get into later. Ron Wyden, senator from Oregon, has unearthed and put on the table a lot of global finance stuff, hush money and whatnot involving JP Morgan. That's another thing that's new. But then there's this ranch. And the ABC affiliate in Albuquerque done so. There's a reporter there I'll just do a couple of minutes here. He kind of sets up why this ranch is in the
evidence seized and how this investigation will proceed and when the public might expect a report.
So it's the first of its kind that we know about an investigation that's happened on the ranch. It's massive because
No, what's significant is this is a state probe that just got started this week, I guess, or yesterday maybe. So this is a state probe. This is a probe that the DOJ cannot sit on, cannot control.
Because it's the first time law enforcement has gone to this place to investigate these crimes. What we know is that this wasn't just one day, and it wasn't just in one space. This land spans very broadly. We're talking about a 30,000 square foot area of just the ranch home alone. And then we're thinking beyond that, we're talking about public lands, private lands. And so, the scope of this is so big for our Department of Justice, but nevertheless, we know it took multiple days. I don't know if it's actually ended yet. Just Thursday, I had a journalist say they had been there saying the Department of Justice was still guarding the ranch gate.
Yeah, that's what's going on. The Department of Justice has taken over the ranch on the auspices that they're conducting a search. And they won't let anybody on there is what's happening right now.
And so we will learn from them about what happened. The Truth Commission has a relationship with our Department of Justice to understand what they find and how we can use that information.
What is it they're looking for?
Here's the kicker. I don't know about this. Listen to this. I don't know. Maybe
we know that the FBI had received a tip in 2019 that there may have been bodies buried at the ranch. When we heard that understanding and got that message that the Department of Justice had released just weeks ago, that is when our New Mexico Department of Justice sprung into action to create this criminal investigation 3 days after our commission was launched. We did not know the timing of this was going to be simultaneous with the work of our commission. But now we have multiple agencies working in tandem to ensure that we know what went on there.
Bodies of who is it alleged would be there?
Bodies of girls who were strangulated during fetish sex. This was the tip offered to the FBI in 2019 that a then radio host here in New Mexico had received from an anonymous person. It's redacted in the files. We understand that that person may have been a worker at the ranch at the time that tipped off this radio host to then forward that to the FBI to say, this needs to be investigated. Again, this was in 2019. This was never investigated. This never transpired. And in fact, when the New Mexico Department of Justice Attorney General wanted to investigate, the federal government said, stand down. So we don't know why that decision was made. Here we are 7 years later. You know, it's horrifying to think that that occurred. We won't know that until the New Mexico Department of Justice lets us know what they found, but we certainly want to know.
I'll bet. So this is a property, again, Jeffrey Epstein going on 7 years now, being dead. The property has passed hands, correct? And there's been construction. How confident are you that something will be found, notwithstanding potentially just digging up ground to see if these allegations of young girls being buried on the property are true?
Well, thankfully, we do have the full participation of the current owners to be able to run this type of investigation.
This is a state representative in New Mexico on MS Now being interviewed by.
Okay, this isn't somebody that knows anything then.
Well, I don't know that anyone knows anything.
Well,
she's quoting an FBI tip about those bodies.
Well, part of the tip, there was some people, and because there's like public land, it's surrounded by public lands too. And some people, they had actually broken through somehow, there doesn't seem to be a fence or anything. And this was after Epstein's death. And there was a yurt, the big tents. And there was like a slave statue inside, like a black person statue inside of it. And they also took a picture of what appeared to be possibly two older grave sites where it looked like maybe at some point it was different than the land around it. But it had been years probably, but it still looks different than the land around it. And they sent pictures in.
But to get to Jack's question, the only basis that we have for this is that there was an FBI file with a tip about bodies, and that's what everybody's pursuing. And DOJ never investigated that tip, or FBI didn't. And now they are, and now DOJ is on the ranch conducting a search, and nobody really knows what they're doing, or if they're just protecting it. And so in the meantime, New Mexico has two probes going. They set up a commission that this state representative who was just talking is on.
But she is nobody.
Well, she's on a commission that the legislature set up. And then the state attorney general in New Mexico has also opened a criminal probe. So there's two investigations going on. Neither of them are claiming they know anything yet. They're just beginning an investigation that was never actually done of the original FBI tip. That's the way I understand it.
But there's a lot of stuff in the Epstein files about Zorro Ranch, and the other thing that the state does know is that they continually stop permits to tunnel and dig wells and do this and do that on the ranch. And and somebody said that there was a lab in tunnels under the ranch, but they were continually working there trying to expand subterraneously, it seems. So can they just fly over with ground penetrating radar to figure out if there's tunnels? Could they do that? Does that have ground penetrating?
The point is, to Jack's point, we don't have facts yet. We just have investigations that are getting started.
We don't have any official people coming on the record.
I don't know.
And what we have, I don't call a state representative, I've worked around too many of them.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what about a U.S. representative? Because Stansbury's been there too.
We got to have something besides her.
Okay, what about a U.S. representative? Is that good enough for you? Because she's been out there too. Stansbury's been out there too.
Yeah, she has. She's done lots of videos on it.
They don't know anything more than you and I.
Well, and they don't, and what's in the Epstein files that have been released, there is stuff about Zorro Ranch in the Epstein files as well. There are people that came forward. This is the thing.
I mean,
crimes.
What
Jack,
you're sounding like
Jack,
is we are the UFOologists.
No, Jack.
And what you got to do is start getting a little bit better information rather than speculation.
Okay, Jack. Claims of people who were abused there actually went to them locally for years, and nobody ever did anything. There were victims who went to law enforcement, and nobody did anything for years. There are case reports out there, and nobody did anything. And this is why women don't come forward when they get abused, because nothing gets done.
Exactly. It gets swept under the rug.
Well, the problem is it's easy to say we don't know anything when they've been covering it up. And then when people try to figure out what did happen.
Well, also,
well, you can't prove it, Well, we can
and as soon as Zorro Ranch hit
what you can prove.
As soon as Zorro Ranch hit the radar, and the shell company went in to buy that for and put it in for Huffines from Texas, he started doing construction. So he started excavating. He started probably tampering with what was there.
Now, this is what this woman, the congresswoman here, yesterday. This was actually she told reporters this. Anyway, Melanie Stansbury, Mexico member of Congress. Anyway, she had read the redacted files about this ranch, because so much of this stuff about the ranch is only coming out recently because it's in the files that only came out recently. And this is what she said. I spent a fair amount of my time this morning looking at the files on Zorro Ranch. And she said there aren't words to describe what are in those files. Now, again, only members of Congress who are allowed to go in a room with no notes, no pen, no anything, have been able to see these files. And that was her conclusion. There aren't words, and Stansbury repeatedly emphasized to the press that both girls and boys were abused at the ranch. So it's in these files that are only so far being seen by members of Congress and have still not been made public.
But it's a big leap from there to Graves.
Graves, I've had trouble making that journey too. I agree. Yeah, and the only basis for it is that one FBI tip that woman in that other interview referred to, that there were graves there.
Yeah, and Craig, there are crazy people out there that will say anything.
Yeah, but the point is, it's like a lot of the other tips that are in the FBI files. They didn't pursue them. They interviewed. They took them seriously enough to interview the people, and then they just stopped. I mean, they didn't go further. So none of these tips that were actually investigated. So
and there's and the other thing is there's a pattern. If a couple of people over a decade, a couple of people say something. But if it's a pattern and it's over and over and over and over again for years and years and years, it's not nothing. It's not just crazy people.
And we could at least see that their testimony, whatever it is, needs to see the light of day so that others can evaluate it.
Exactly.
Not the people that are shoving the brakes on it and stopping it.
Now, here's a little background on the ranch from this ABC affiliate that I was talking about earlier. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think this is an ABC affiliate in Albuquerque, an investigation.
When the Zorro Ranch land was bought in the 1990s, it was front page news. The Albuquerque Tribune called it the Big House and reported that a, quote, mysterious stranger has come to Stanley with plans to build the largest home in New Mexico.
That stranger was Jeffrey Epstein. Why did I buy a ranch in New Mexico? 1993. So that gives you some sense. So I would have funded it in 1990. Los Alamos, which was the high energy lab up in New Mexico, was losing all its scientists.
In this 2019 interview included in the DOJ files, Epstein said he was interested in investing in new ideas.
They cut the funding for high energy physics, but the people who worked in Los Alamos would still be in the Santa Fe area. And can you fund people who have new ideas?
When the Tribune did this story in 1995, they interviewed Epstein. He said he was, quote, security conscious and described himself as a hermit and as being afraid. At the time, he employed 2 full-time people to manage the ranch and made them all sign confidentiality agreements. The employees told the Tribune they were, quote, sworn to secrecy. But people here in New Mexico say they had no idea what was going on.
He was from New York is what we knew.
Gary King is from one of the last of the great political dynasties in New Mexico. His dad was governor. King himself, a former attorney general, former state rep, and was a Democratic nominee for governor in 2014. His family sold Epstein the land when his father was in office. It was owned by his father and 2 uncles.
So I am guessing that Jeffrey Epstein or somebody that he worked for was looking in New Mexico and saw that land listed, and that they reached out to the King brothers to buy that land.
When Epstein purchased the land, it included state-owned property. The property was leased by the King family for grazing livestock. State officials now say when Epstein purchased the King property, he assumed the leases for the state-owned grazing land, but it doesn't appear he used it for any agricultural purpose.
It was by no means a bona fide grazing operation.
Stephanie Garcia Richard is the state's land commissioner. She says her office is responsible for making sure people use state-owned land for its designated purpose.
There have been cases where grazing leases have been misused. They are not used for their intended purpose. I believe that the grazing lease at Zorro Ranch was just one of these cases.
Once built, this is what the ranch looked like. Sprawling gardens, the New Mexico desert, an airplane landing strip, corrals and stables for livestock, and homes for ranch workers. It also had a shooting range and this antique train car. Inside, there was a swimming pool, large garage, and elaborate office. These are the blueprints. Some of these are photos from the inside that were provided to this man.
You could see that it wasn't a normal residence. 33,333 square feet. You would expect 15, 20 bedrooms, a palace. And it wasn't, the layout of that place wasn't that at all.
Eddie Aragon is a radio talk show host.
Epstein Ranch.
He started talking about Epstein nearly daily on his show shortly after the billionaire was arrested in 2019.
I had been interested in the Jeffrey Epstein Zorro Ranch stuff way before, because a lot of people had called in, had sort of citizen informants, citizen journalists who had been feeding me information.
Today, Aragon believes the informants were actually people who worked at the ranch. They supplied him videos, photos, and pictures of the inside.
I think it's something that should be disseminated everywhere so that people can actually get a background of what was taking place in terms of sort of the celebrations.
Looks like a nice place.
Looks can be deceiving.
In the 90s, New Mexico was the place to go.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Particularly the Taos area.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, very much an artsy colony.
Well, now we've got 2 state probes that DOJ can't control. And maybe they'll be able to get some actual
But if they're guarding the place, are they allowing the state in?
Well, apparently that's a temporary. That is DOJ all of a sudden swooped in with search warrants and is supposedly searching the ranch and keeping everybody off. But that state rep earlier, who's on the commission, one of the two state pros, did say they are in discussions with DOJ about joining the investigation. So, but that's just a moving target right at the moment, is whether DOJ is going to let the state on the they can't stay there forever. They're just not saying how much longer their search is going to take.
Well, if there was nothing there, they would allow them in. That's all I'm saying. Everything that's getting covered up, there's something there. Otherwise,
I agree with you.
There'd be a tour guide.
This could be a corollary to what Jack said about shredding documents. They might be destroying evidence.
Well, and that's the thing. After they moved that ranch to Huffines from Texas, that's running for, I guess, state comptroller. After they moved that into his name, they started excavating. They put in, we're going to turn this into a Christian retreat. They brought in heavy moving equipment and started destroying stuff.
Yeah.
Well, if there's that many people involved in the cover up, it'll all come out.
Yeah. As it has been happening on
it's the
gradual basis.
It's the old, what is it? Two people can keep a secret if one of them's dead.
I always thought that about the Kennedy assassination. If it was really true, all these conspiracy theories, somebody would come forward.
And of course, the other big thing that the DOJ is hiding is the amount of money that is being paid for these huge warehouse spaces for prisoners.
Oh, yeah. The concentration camp budget is huge.
I mean, really overpaying, like 3 times what a property is worth. They're spending money like drunken sailors to get this space so that they can use it. And it doesn't matter what the local people think about it or want.
They did back down in New Hampshire. The New Hampshire governor did make them stop that one there. So I don't know.
In addition to the concentration camps, there are, I think, 170. They're calling them dark facilities that they're holding people in, just like rooms and stuff. And then there's all of the women and children, minors, who are pregnant in ICE facilities.
Yeah,
that
somehow.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like there's like all these pregnancies and they're all being held together as women. So the only men that are able to access them are ICE agents.
So you know that there are women and children being raped.
And here's what happened with the ICE at the San Francisco
Sacramento
Airport
woman has been
yesterday.
detained by ICE agents at San Francisco International
What we
Airport.
get sending ICE.
The whole incident caught here on camera.
What is your badge number? This is illegal. We need to see your badge number.
Her little girl is standing right next
Yes.
to him right there.
This is an illegal arrest. Show the badge number.
Okay, so that's how it went down. The woman seen crying, officers restraining her in front of several people at SFO, including her child. Representative Doris Matsui said the woman is a Sacramento mother. The Department of Homeland Security said Angelina Lopez Jimenez was arrested Sunday because of a final order of removal from 2019 and said she resisted officers. Airport officials said the incident appears to be isolated and not part of any broader enforcement going on at SFO. So in a statement, Congresswoman Matsui said, quote, "This is our neighbor and a member of our community. This video showcases the cruelty we have come to expect from Trump's ICE agents, but also the lasting trauma that will be inflicted on those who are forced to witness their disproportionate and deadly recklessness. I'm demanding answers as to why ICE treated this woman so violently in front of her daughter," end of quote. And we're working to learn more details as well on this story.
Well, there were some other videos from people at the scene also of that. It was apparently quite the spectacle.
Yeah. And then in other airports, you just see ICE agents just standing there, drinking their
Walking
coffee.
Yeah, the local news here showed that. It reminded me of how the National Guard wander around here in D.C. Is they just kind of they walk around in my neighborhood. I've seen them, chatted with them. I mean, they're not doing anything. They're just
Here's
wandering
the thing.
around.
There's a picture of a TSA agent sitting there at the booth doing her thing, and she's not getting paid. And there's an ICE agent standing behind her doing absolutely nothing, and he is getting paid.
Yeah.
You know, they've got money for the ICE agents, but not for TSA. And this is something else I read. We pay for TSA as a tax on our airline tickets. It's like about it's like $5.60 each way or something like that on average, and that goes to pay the TSA. Okay, so the money's there already, so pay them. This was about putting ICE into airports. This is and
that's all it
leverage
is.
and leverage to get the SAVE Act passed, so they can make sure they disenfranchise enough voters that they can stay in power, the Republicans.
Well, it's really a matter whether John Thune's going to hold on. They met last night at the White House. Apparently, there was a shouting match, or at least Trump was shouting. I don't know if Thune was shouting, but Thune was there last night. Scott Jennings on CNN, who knows these senators pretty well, was reported that they went over to the White House last night to try to talk Trump into this deal that they're working on with the Democrats, and Trump refused and started yelling at Thune. So I think
David Frum's interview, Tim Miller interviewed David Frum on the podcast, the Bulldoze podcast. And David Frum put it this way. He said, what's going on is we desperately need a working Homeland Security Department, and we don't have it. We're at war with Iran, the number one terrorist exporter in the world. And and Trump is blocking it because he wants to deport roofers.
Yeah, right.
He is putting Americans at risk because he wants to deport roofers.
Yeah. And
that's what we need. That's what we need. The way we need to start saying it. We need to quit with the liberal stuff and start putting it down basic where people understand. Because if you just sound like you were in 1960, nobody's going to listen. And that's what it is. We need a homeland. We need to be protected. Trump's not protecting us.
And that brings us back to the 63 missile crisis. And we are getting inundated with so many issues that nothing can move. It's like the drain is clogged with stuff we need to look at. And we can't, because DOJ is blocking it all.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you said the trigger word, Jamie, Cuba.
I put that blog link on.
There is new. We do have new information about that. Has the Russian ship turned around? Is it actually turned around? I'm asking you, Silas.
Oh, the one that we blocked.
Based on the latest data, the Russian tanker Anatoly Kaladkin appears to have diverted course. It's no longer heading directly for Cuba, and the same goes for the other vessel, the Seahorse. They both seem to be heading to other areas in the Caribbean. Is there a particular aspect of that news you'd like to focus on?
No. So is that confirmed that the Russian tanker is no longer headed to Cuba? So the Cuban crude crisis has been settled? Russia blinked?
It's confirmed that the Seahorse, carrying Russian diesel, has changed course and is now heading to Trinidad and Tobago. However, the situation with the other tanker, the Anatoly Kaladkin, is a bit less clear. Some reports suggest it might also be diverting, but others indicate it's still tracking towards Cuba.
Okay.
Well, it seems.
All right. Well, we'll have to stay on top of that one because it's not settled yet, but it looks like Russia might have blinked.
So they're upset about Iran blocking ships in the Strait of Hormuz, but we're blocking ships to getting aid to Cuba.
Yeah, the report over there, there's a human catastrophe in the making there with hospitals getting shut down and their power shut down and that sort of thing. But
Yeah, if you need a ventilator or something, and it runs on power, good luck.
hey, give us a reason, Tim. Give us a reason why President Trump's the greatest president in your 67 years.
Yeah,
I'll take two. I don't know. Give me two reasons. I won't make you give me three. Just give me two.
Come up with one.
Yeah, I figured one might be too easy. I want two. And James Miller's on board too. We love you. Why do you love him, James? Give me two reasons. Two reasons. That's the rule now. Two reasons. If you love Trump, give me two reasons.
it's the high gas prices and measles.
Yeah. Y'all liking them measles? Is that it? You liking them measles? Liking this war in the Middle East? Jake.
Enjoying the food prices.
$5 gas.
Jake Sullivan, who was Biden's national security advisor, was on Comedy Central on Daily Show last night. It was a very interesting interview. I'm kind of afraid to use it because of their copyright stuff. But anyway, he made the point that when Biden left office for the first time, and I forget how many years, 20 maybe, we had no troops. We were not involved in any hostilities in the Middle East at all. It was over, and for the first time in a decade or two, and now Trump has taken us right back into the hellhole, which is exactly what he said he wouldn't do. But I thought that was an important thing to remember. Biden got us out of the Middle East now, and Jake noted this, that it was tragic and awful how they got out of Afghanistan. It was messy as it could be, and 12 Americans died, but he got us out of there.
And that was Trump's fault too, because of how he set up things with the Taliban.
Yeah.
The exit was actually Trump set up the dominoes to fall the way they did.
And of course, this great businessman has failed at every single business he has ever started.
Mm-hmm.
All of them.
And now he's bankrupting the U.S.
Something I was thinking about yesterday. With, the deal of him being the greatest president is I have never seen so many incompetent people being put in charge of important places,
And despite their incompetence, he still looks stupid. And
here's the question. Surely somebody would have got Trump's ear and said, this is not the person we want in here. We can give him something if you want to give him something, but this isn't the person. And who is managing Trump? Because he doesn't manage himself. Who's managing Trump to where they think is to their interest to have these people in those positions?
Stephen Miller.
Well, I don't think managing's the right. I think manipulating.
Is it the woman that's the chief of staff?
Stephen Miller and Jared Kushner.
I mean, right now, those are the two that seem to be. And I think a better word than managing is who's manipulating Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. I'll go.
It's a small distinction, but I mean, I think, and from everything I see,
I think the thing with Trump is you can manipulate him to put good people in there too.
Yeah, but
they're
manipulated.
No, right. You can manipulate him,
and it's all part of the long-range global. The whole thing about the replacement theory and white nationalists.
Well,
and they're doing it in Europe and they're doing it here.
The reporting was that Kushner is the one who told Trump that the Iranians failed to make a deal and that he should start bombing. And Jake Sullivan, I'm going to play Jake Sullivan's interview at the end in case it's copyrighted and I have to clip it. But anyway, Jake Sullivan said that he thinks that that Kushner and Wyckoff, who were the negotiators, didn't understand what the Iranians were offering, that they were offering a pretty good deal on nuclear development, that the Europeans there thought was a pretty good offer. And they didn't understand. They misinterpreted the offer and told Trump, "Oh, they don't have a deal. We don't have a deal. Let's start the war." And that's how it all started. Which, talk about incompetence. I mean, you're not even understanding what the other side is offering.
Well,
You're making a deal.
There was also a report that for some reason, and I don't understand this, that Saudi Arabia wanted this to happen. I don't understand.
Really?
I don't understand. I don't get it.
Well, they've
I don't
always
get
had
it.
issues with Iran. I mean, they have.
Well, we've got the Shiite Sunni split, and so basically you've got what, Iraq and Iran,
Uh-huh.
and then you've got the Saudis who are the Sunnis,
Mm-hmm.
and the other Gulf states there. And they have been basically uncomfortable with each other, I guess, to put it mildly, for some time.
And then to Stephen Miller, which I think Blue's right, is he's the other one who's got Trump's ear right now, is and what they say about him is that nobody sucks up to Trump better than Stephen Miller. That he in every meeting he prefaces everything he says with, Mr. President, you're the greatest. You've done this, you've done that. The people love you, and he prefaces everything. And then and Trump is just so childish and stupid. This works. And then he says, and we need to do this and that. And Trump just agrees to everything. And the other he's a laughing stock among the rest of the staff privately, because they try to compete with him for sucking up to Trump, but nobody's as good at it as Stephen Miller is what is the reporting I've seen about all that. And Susie Wiles just kind of makes the trains run on time, lets Trump be Trump, and doesn't challenge him, and so you can't really say she's manipulating or managing anything.
I wonder if she's going to be less of a now that she's going to be going through breast cancer treatment.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if she's going to be less
I wonder about that.
present, and if things will kind of come apart without her there to manage everybody, to wrangle the white supremacists and
None of your business is in the house. We always like to see Nanya.
Hi, Nanya.
Makes it illegal. It was not approved by Congress. Yeah, I agree with that.
I guess international law too. I mean, we're just going after civilians for.
Well, we don't acknowledge the existence hardly of the International Criminal Court, so nobody can prosecute. They can't prosecute us because we don't play law. Us and Russia.
We're not a signature, are we?
No, we're not. Yeah,
I don't think so.
Yeah,
that's the thing. We treat international law like it's the local sheriff. And it's not. It's just a set of agreements that we can either go along with or ignore. And we've ignored them as a nation. It doesn't matter what president. Every president has chosen to ignore it at some time or another.
Yeah, but this president has actually cut off their credit cards and done to the ICC judges and stuff. He's done some stuff to them to send them a message. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he did that on behalf of Netanyahu or I don't know.
Hey, Nanya, you got that right. Let's give Nanya a little.
We had Blessing here coming in that you didn't acknowledge, and I let him know.
Here you go. That's for Nanya. That's for Nanya. All right, and now we got Blessing. Let's see, we got Blessing coming in.
Where did I see Blessing? Is Blessing in here? What?
Up above Nunya.
Oh, I didn't see you there, Blessing. I put that on earlier. I don't know what videos you mean. The Blessing missed your videos. Tell us what you missed. We'll play it again. I don't know.
But they're all available on YouTube after we get off the air, aren't they, anyway?
Yeah, I just don't know which videos Blessing's referring to, actually. But actually, if anybody wants to see any of our past shows, I've created a nice little short link at trailmix.cc diner. That's a replay of that's all our past.
Good morning, Robert.
See now, Jamie, you need to be the moderator. Actually, no King's Day when I go out there Saturday I'm not going to be able to see or respond to comments. So maybe Jamie can lead that when.
So what's the timing on Saturday?
Well, the timing is that they're gonna meet over at the Circle at the Kennedy, in front of the Kennedy Center at the Potomac there at 10 o'clock, and then start walking across Memorial Bridge across the Potomac to the Lincoln Memorial at 10:30. So it's going to be, it should be very active at 11 o'clock when we go on. What I'm trying to decide is if I'm going to go over there and walk with them, because what I've learned in the past when we've done these and I've taken my phone into the protest, the noise is so loud that the audio's all messed up. I'm thinking about whether I should just sit, and this is the lazy way, is I could sit on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial that face the Potomac, and then I could have a nice overview of the whole bridge. And by 11 o'clock, it would be filled with people walking across the bridge, and then I could just sit there quietly and chat. I'm kind of leaning toward that. But I don't know.
Will they have anything blocked off? Will they have the Lincoln Memorial blocked off or anything like that?
That's what I'm not sure of. They might not even let me get up to the Lincoln Memorial because they're doing some work around that, and they've got it shut. They're building an exhibition center at the Lincoln Memorial, and in these days, anytime anything's being built at a national monument by this administration, I get worried. Are they going to put a statue of Trump on Lincoln's lap or something in the Lincoln Memorial? I mean, they're doing some construction there, and the sign says exhibition coming in late 2026 at Exhibition Hall. And when I saw that, I thought, that might not end well. That might.
Yeah, he's putting like black granite. You know where the little walkway is to the Oval Office with the little colonnade. He's ripping that out and putting in black granite, which when it gets wet is slippery.
Oh God! Well, maybe he'll fall down then.
That's what I'm thinking. Wouldn't that be ironic? Wouldn't that be ironic?
Because I mean, thanks to what he said about Mueller, he's normalized it now. It's okay, if he dies, we can now say we're glad he's dead. It's okay now. Our president made it okay to say that about people.
Yeah.
Robert Fruge.
Are there benches by the cherry trees where they'll be walking along the mall or anything like that by the reflecting pool?
Well, the cherry trees are over on Tidal Basin, which is not in the zone there where the march is going to be, but very close.
Are they going by the reflecting pool?
They are going to march. Yes, the way I understand it, they're going to march across Memorial Bridge, around Lincoln Memorial, and then down the National Mall, down the reflecting pool toward the Washington Monument, and then there's that traditional staging area for with the Capitol in the background on the National Mall, where they'll have their speeches and everything. That's the way it seemed like to me.
Are there like park benches or anything anywhere?
Yeah. They got benches along there.
Okay.
I'm going back to the gym today. I'm getting in training. I did 10-15 minutes on my recumbent bicycle. I got on my bicycle yesterday. See the bicycle? Yeah, I got on there for 15 minutes, and I've been going to the gym, and I got my steroid shots in my L4 and 5. So I should be able. All I want to do is walk across Memorial Bridge on Saturday.
That's a good goal to have.
Be careful, you get your body so beat up you can't walk.
Right. Yeah. But like I say, I've got the plan B, which is if they let me on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, I might just go up there and sit and watch everybody else walk. That's where
take you a cane and they'll be nice to the old man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
And some water and a power bar.
When I got my hips replaced, and I for a couple of months was walking with a cane, after I didn't need it anymore, I still take it because you're right. I mean, man, people open doors for you and let you cut in line, and I mean, a cane is a
Or
wonderful
you can
thing.
sit on Lincoln's lap.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Oh well, good Lord, time flew there. We're already at the hour, and I'm going to end with Jake. I don't know what y'all think about Jake. I very much admire Jake Sullivan. I think he's a real straight shooter and a smart guy, and he Biden's national security advisor, and he did an interview here with Daily Show that I thought made a lot of sense. He made a lot of sense about a lot of things around this Iran war. I'm going to just play it at the end here because if YouTube copyright police yell at me and make me cut it, then I wouldn't have to chop it off in the middle of the video. So, anybody got any unfinished business?
Just letting you know, over on Trail Mix, I did put up that old blog about the missile crisis through to the Kennedy assassination. So if you want to read it, you can.
Yeah, I was hoping this Cuba thing might kick up so we could talk about Cuban
See,
money.
Winter made it.
Oh, it's Winter. Oh, Winter, you just got here.
Oh, Winter.
Well, our timing's bad for Winter's work. I think Winter gets off work.
Jack, what were you asking?
We finish.
Jack, what were you asking?
Oh, I was wondering how big do they think the No Kings March in Washington D.C. is going to be?
I haven't seen any estimates. I mean, we had it in August, was it, when we had the last one? This is organized by the same people who got. It was 200,000 ended up at the National Mall here, and then nationwide 7 million, and I think that was a pretty solid number. I know even the critics weren't able to question it. So I don't know. I mean,
you think it's gonna be as enthusiastic, or
I don't know why it wouldn't be. I mean, we got
out on this stuff.
We got a war now. We got a war too.
I mean, now we got him going to running an illegal war in the Middle East. I mean, if there's ever a reason to say we don't need a king, it ought to be that. Oh, we got somebody on the Cuban Missile Crisis here, Tom C. That they don't have enough missiles left to fire at Cuba when they try to.
I was reading today on the number of missiles we have expanded. First, last year, for just protecting Israel, taking our stockpile down, and we've has used thousands of them, and I think we were purchasing last year. We purchased
Thank you for having me.
or something like that. It was weird numbers.
Yeah.
Our basic stockpile to defend ourselves in the world is being depleted.
And that's what the Joint Chiefs Chair told them before this, when he advised them not to start this war. He made that was one of his. He had several reasons, but that was one of them. Is that it would draw down our supplies Not just that, but a lot of things. I don't know.
The
Well,
strategic oil reserve wasn't at capacity either before they started it. And now we've started to tap against that. But it wasn't full to start with.
And supposedly we have enough to last for Trump's usual 2 weeks.
Oh, great.
Yeah, everything's 2 weeks. Okay, well, here's Jake Sullivan. I thought he made a lot of great points here in his usual very calm and studied way. And we'll see you back on
Okay, take care.
Have a good day, everybody.
Bye, y'all.
Be back.